Hello, my name is Monica Goucher, and this is my presentation for my action research proposal for EDUC 642. The purpose of my study is to determine if providing students with a choice in reading texts will increase their motivation to read and learn reading strategies to improve their reading skills. According to Kylene Beers and Bob Probst in their 2017 book, Disrupting Thinking, students who are motivated to read will increase the amount of reading they do. And in turn, the increase in volume will also increase their word exposure and their fluency. Before graduating high school, students must have experience with strategies for reading a variety of texts to prepare them for the texts they will have to read in higher education, vocational training, employment, or financial institutions to provide stable, productive lives for themselves. In surveys conducted with students year after year, students admit that reading is a chore and they do not read for pleasure. If reading is essential for gaining knowledge, students' question opinions about reading must be changed to give them a readily available tool for self improvement during their post education years. Currently, the English curriculum for ninth grade students at my school does not allow for student choice in reading texts. Therefore, this study may provide data which can be used to change the curriculum to include more opportunities for students to choose texts. The research questions for this study are: how do self selected texts increase motivation for students who are reading in a ninth grade English class? And how do reading choices in a ninth grade English class motivate students to learn reading strategies and improve their reading skills? As anyone with a hobby can attest to, choosing to undertake an activity, even one that requires extra effort, does not feel like a challenge when the activity is of interest. For many students, reading is a challenge for a variety of reasons. However, when given the opportunity to choose the text, studies show that students not only increase their interest in reading, but increase the volume of reading as well. For students who choose to read young adult literature, there is significant improvement in reading engagement both inside and outside of the school day. Allowing students to choose texts that reflect their cultural experiences is found to improve reading motivation. Therefore, providing students with a wide variety of texts that reflect their experiences will increase their motivation to read so that reading becomes an enjoyable habit rather than an assignment. In addition, an increase in reading motivation affects other areas of students' lives besides volume. As students read more, they improve their reading skills, such as fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. When reading volume grows, students increase their print exposure, which can improve their oral language and spelling. Students who feel more confident in their reading abilities are then more likely to complete assignments connected to the reading, which, in turn, improves their overall grades. In addition to an improvement in reading achievement, students also improve their general knowledge. Educators, regardless of the content they teach, can improve their students' reading achievement and overall knowledge of the world through the element of student choice. The research methods for this proposal would be a teacher inquiry in my ninth grade English classrooms. The participants will be given the Adolescent Motivations for School Reading Questionnaire at the beginning of the school year to set a baseline for students' reading motivations. Throughout the year, participants will be interviewed once per quarter, which is 10 weeks, to ask for their opinions about the reading they have done in the English class for the quarter. Observational notes will be taken when students are doing small group discussions about their chosen reading. And finally, student work may be collected if an assignment is created that asks students about their reading motivation, reading habits, or their reading skills. In the first quarter, students read a whole class novel, but will be allowed to choose a text for independent daily reading. Upon completion of this unit, which coincides with the end of the quarter, Participants will be interviewed by me about their whole class reading experience, how the reading strategies they learned have impacted their reading skills, changes to their reading habits, and overall opinion of reading. In the second and third quarters, students will be given 4 or 5 books to choose from to form book clubs. Again, at the end of the quarter, the participants will be interviewed by the researcher. In asking the questions of the same students, the expectation is to see changes in their responses over the course of the school year. In the fourth quarter, students will be allowed to self select a text to read independently as their class text. And at the end of the school year, the AMSR questionnaire will be administered again to compare their responses to those given at the beginning of the year. The data collected will be used to determine if the ninth grade curriculum currently being used should be revised or even replaced. The curriculum includes multiple instances of whole class texts with little opportunity for students to choose what they read beyond their daily independent reading. The data and the conclusions drawn from the data will be presented to the school administration and possibly the district director of teaching and learning to make a decision about the future of the ninth grade curriculum. Proposed participants will be ninth grade students assigned to my 3 English classes for the 2021-2022 school year. The classes average about 31 students, which would give a total of 93 students from the 3 classes. Traditionally, 10% of the students have limited English proficiency and are also enrolled in an English language development class. At the start of the year, students and parents will receive an email with information about the purpose of the study, an explanation of how the data will be used to make decisions about the future curriculum used in English 9 classes, the possible risks and benefits of the study, assurances of privacy and confidentiality, and an explanation of the voluntary nature of this study. Virtual meetings will be planned to answer questions from parents and students separately, where the cameras and microphones will be turned off to protect their privacy. Students' academic performance will not be affected if they choose not to participate, and parents will receive an informed consent form, and students will be asked for their assent as well. The anticipated participant risks are less than minimal, while the benefits may improve students' reading enjoyment and or their proficiency. The study will take place at a public high school in a rural community. The school's enrollment is 1,273 students and breaks down demographically with 77.6% Caucasian, 15.6% Hispanic Latino, 3.7% two or more races, 1.4% Native American, and 1% Black African American. The socioeconomic demographics of the student body population show that 29.3% of students qualify for free or reduced meals. The study will take place during the 2021-2022 school year. Students will complete the AMSR questionnaire during the first week of school in September and during the last week of school in June. Participants will also be interviewed individually once per quarter over the 4 quarters of the school year. Thank you for your attention to my presentation.